Southeast Asia and beyond, right? Therefore, they've always been able to put a very high value on most of their talents, where they've been able to step up in many instances. D-Round does get the first blood over on its mid-exchange, and Todak being held back for quite some time.
For Bleed, I think this is not... I mean, we're not surprised that they're playing this way. They always go for information first, and I think information is key for them because it allows them to kind of figure out how exactly they want to execute onto the site. It looks like it's going to be a quick one. Straight onto A site. Sprays through from G. Unfortunately, does not get any tags. Only Darion, a little bit more, but he does take a little bit more damage. Immediately, he's going to be cornered over in Dugout. And Kale, smoked out, has to play with the Haunt.
It's being absolutely blindsided overall, and they are going for a wide swing. Todak didn't really have much to offer. These exchanges went by one after another, and it's just quite a clean run coming out of Bleed, only losing Crazy Kai in exchange. Almost flawless, and that's why I felt like Todak should have actually respected them a little bit more in terms of that pressure that they could possibly put. And that's where the aftershock connects. Kill gets that perfect timing to clear out the lockdown, but not enough to clear out the rest of Bleed. Pressure is on. D-Round still pushes forward with a judge. Nobody within the Shroud of Smokes though. D-Round pulling upwards as he spots one going into the dugout. And there's still one more by the corners of the wall. They are being denied vision into getting that clean entry. But damage being done, they brought down Kyle, and they didn't really have that lockdown to really come into effect.
They were hoping for a fast onto site, was not expecting an aggressive play from Todak. And I think this caught them off guard because before this, what Todak did was just kind of stole on them out of sight. It's going to be Frosty is going to clear out Darion as he comes onto the site as well. Juicy picks one up, but Sube is going to find Scary with his utils. And now they think, okay, we've whittled down the numbers. We're down man. I think it's best for us to rotate. Just now we saw Aduka was actually on B all on his own, and he finally made it to A. They were not aware that now making their way onto B are these two iconic duos, Crazy Guy and Juicy. Juicy can play really, really aggressive. He knows he has the Empress as well. He did pop it, so he wants to get some value. Oh, that's timing.
So he just gets to cut across, but the footsteps have already revealed their location. He comes in for the refrag. The Crazy Guy's down. It's all down to Juicy right now, 72 HP, and we'll be able to bring out the rest of Todak. Finally clinching the point in round 5.
And getting an op on top of that as well, or rather a redo of what they want to do to make each round as flawless as they can. And with 4 ultimates, I think Bleed doesn't want to leave anything to chance, because you know that Todak has done these sort of combos in terms of how they use their ultimates together. And Todak, I'm not too sure what exactly they're going to do here, because they're not doing that fast one as Jeet immediately taps off Crazy Guy, and that's their I would say, their initiator down.
Perfect timing. Jeet just knew where exactly they'll push through. Though they still have Juicy on side though, the D-Round finally cuts across. They will have to clear up Dugout if they really want a free access into this entirety of the pit. And there we go. With everything they put on the line, all these elements are being set into place. Jeet still gets to concuss through. Won't be able to stop Scary though. Be able to get the plan down. Todak finally puts the lockdown online. Scary will have to start moving.
Yeah, but they are running out of time. They need to make this quick. Scary does get concussed. Daring gets one. Subi trades Juicy for one more. It's a trade on trade on trade. But no one does get stopped by the lockdown. Regardless, the Todak is running out of time. And we've seen this happen again and again. 2 of them playing on main. Aduka gets a tap, gets one. Is still JH to worry about. But the tap comes through, defuse. Aduka just fighting for time, and G gets 2! You can count on this.
What's going to be able to deny them entry, especially onto the hallways.
Look at how fast they're taking up this space, and Darion just disregarding all of the utilities thrown out by Aduka, takes up halls. See how he moves in with Juicy, not afraid at all, because he knows that if anything were to happen, their firepower will overwhelm the only member on the B side. Oh, he's taking up the space.
He's going to take it off quickly as it goes. Kill managed to deplete him before the Helter Skelter happens. Now, it's down to Kyle to see if he can get any vision out of Bleed Esports. Still having a little bit more pressure coming in from Halls, and he's just gonna blind shoot it. Still gets Juicy in return. And now, with all that's being set into place, Todak
Jay! Oh my god, that was huge as Jean stops it, but Scary ends it in the end.
And force onto this eco, and they're already playing for long yet again.
Frosties does get value from those pain shells. Aduka gets one more. This is a very, very good, I would say, eco for them. But bleed. Just making Todak bleed is the name of the game. Really good synergy. It's just a matter of whether or not their timing can sync up. And this aggression coming through. Frosty's a little bit too overzealous. And Juicy punishes him for it.
Now they will be able to gain a lot of space, but the trades are happening through the smoke.
That's a hard kill too.
Yeah,
oh,
that turret took him down. It was too low to begin with. The rest of Bleed Esports stabilizes, and now the spike's on the ground as well. The ball is on their court. For Todak, doesn't seem to have much they could do about the situation unless G denies them any form of vision. JH gets 4 in this pistol round. And it's 2 more points to victories have made his way through Voxy. He's immediately going in for the headshot. Now with this window of opportunity, what could they possibly do with this? Kill scans through. Not being able to spot out Silva just about yet. Alro now hoping to get a little bit more vision onto members of Todak. Spot out Frosties. Doesn't matter all too much. Whereas, take a look at Bleed. 2 members on the flank. It's going to take them a while. And I assume that Bleed is allowing them to go in for the plant until they finally have enough space to move in. And that's where they will strike.
In this situation, since they already are very aware where the other members of Todak are, JH does take some damage, but that swarm it just buys some time. Shock darts as well, and that haunt will be immediately taken out of the way. No one getting any value from that, but they at least know there's one up there. JH takes one, but Sube trades out. Not before Trazy guy stops Jeed in his tracks. It's a trade on trade, and this is a very, very even situation between both teams.
They're about to set the plan up. Very deep corner, so this flank is still looking to be spicy and juicy. Coming when it goes to out-trade Frosties, and he's looking for a kill. Won't be able to get it against them, but Crazy Guy still managing to at least find one back. 1 versus 1. Subway versus Scary. And he's holding himself near towards the spike.
Oh, he has to hurry. Scary! Bros don't fake, and he knows he's safe, and he still gets it in the end. Gonna be swinging after He's gonna find that first pick onto Darion, and that's huge. But there's still Juicy to worry about. And Kale coming onto site. This is really, really good control coming in from Todak. And Kale just pushing forward. He knows there's one there. Kale with the swing, finds Crazy Guy, and immediately repositions. Jay in a situation where there are 3 members of Todak looking in his general direction. He tries to make the flick, doesn't quite get it. Frosties finally finds him in the end.
Aduka lurking onto the B lane though, expecting members of Bleed Esports to pull off the same strategy. And this is where we'll see whether he goes for it. She's Scary! Wall bangs it with the Spectre. I'm not too sure if this is going to be the lifeline for it. Seems like they're just going to go in for the save.
Really liking the fact that they know when to go aggressive and when to not do that. But I think for Todak, they know there's always one in the lurk. Not going to go over aggressive, just going to be holding. I don't think Juicy will get any exit frags either. Regardless, this is a very, very clean. And Darion finds Kale even before they set up close. Darion in this corner is just so formidable. And now with Juicy, Darion goes down. But Juicy and Crazy Guy get one each. And with that was the shock dart kill.
This is just absolutely bonkers. Bleed just drawing them in like moths to a flame. And now down to Frosties. There's nothing for him to work with.
Defenders win.
Ground secured. This will be the first pointer given over to Bleed Esports, having full mastery on Pearl.
At this point, I think it's best to just ban this map out than challenge Bleed, because I think that they are undefeated on this map just yet. Again, just watching Legia's.
Now that Frosty with the clutch movements, we'll definitely want to see what he could possibly bring. Starting off with the light shields and the ability, the aftershock clips Frosties. So this is where Elite Esports quickly goes in to secure the element orb for Scary. And he's got that sick one-way setup as well. So Todak couldn't freely push forward.
Gonna be crossing the chasm here, all the way to the other side. That rope has a lot of memories. We saw that VCT APAC LCQ. We know that all the Boom fans at home have a lot of bitter memories on there. Regardless, immortalized. And for Todak going through there, I think they're very, very aware of how exactly they want to do this. Now with Juicy onto main, I think they have an idea. Probably have heard the ropes as well, as immediately they're going to jump through the area up drop, going in fast, explosive play, much similar to what they like to do before. Now the question is whether or not they're going to be able to retake. Juicy finds Frosties, takes him out. Kale is so very low. Aduka holding in the corner, wants to trade, but look at the cross coming through. Jay with 2, Juicy for 1 more. And suddenly it's a flawless round 1 for Bleed.
Just having the perfect read coming by Zero and Pop pushing up, and now they find that advantage and hoping to find something in exchange when they get themselves into A.
Frosty's taking up so much space in such a large amount of time, and Kale will be the one to take it out first. By Scary, this is a very nasty corner he's playing in, but Sube and Jeet does immediately react, taking him out of the way. And this might be a second round in a row as Jeet popping off here with a 3K in the pocket. They know exactly where Crazy Guy is. Aduka showing the aggression, wanting to take up more space. Gonna just try and give himself a little bit more space, or at least a little bit more information as he holds a different cross.
Seeing what he could basically get in return. Probably will go in for the save if he's being forced to, but that's not the usual way Crazy Guy wants it to be. He's just going in for an exchange. And
getting picked off early is not something good for Todak, because we see that they have strength in numbers, not necessarily strength in those, I would say, those whittled down situations. Regardless, for them, Sube does have the Rolling Thunder, but meanwhile on the other side, you can see that JH also has his own. Kale, once again, opening through doors, gets the mark, decides whether or not he wants to get that haunt out. Unfortunately, he will be damaged, and that's a lot of damage put onto him. Only 10 HP left. Perhaps it would have been a different story if we were to use the Prowlers, but I think the idea of what Kale wants to do with his Prowlers is want to swing out and get value from it.
Finally putting out the Hondo. Juicy slowly cuts across, should be able to find that swing. He gets blinded off, and Kyle, with only 10 HP, gets the trade down. You get the entry into the sands. D-Round hoping to find a pick over on drop. Taking things slowly so they get detected by bot. Aftershock as well as Rolling Thunder falls into plays, and Frosty's hoping to catch them off guard as he swings out.
Oh no. Darren was already... He had his eyes trained on that area as Crazy Guy gets separated by his team, but here comes the counter Rolling Thunder as well. But look at Scary playing this tight corner, finds one, and the other members still get it. Aduka for 1, but Darren trades him out in the end. It's only Sube. What is he gonna do? Because there's 3 different angles to play with. Darren is waiting for the right tap, and Darion with the big numbers this round, finally catching up to Todak.
Finally finding that window to just pull through onto this A take. And they had to basically weird it down slowly and steadily as they found some damage being done to Kyle, and they will continue to press onto this engagement as well, just blinding onto the heaven side. And eventually that huge pick onto Frosties has definitely opened up this entirety of the window in favor of the esports. Are they about to do it again? Doesn't seem so. This time they are opting for a B shove. Crossfire eventually will be set into
Look
place.
at where Todak's players are all the way to the other end of A. Now without that information, Bleed might find a different way in. It's going to be really fast, and it doesn't matter whether or not you are going to be getting onto site because of the molly or not. And Juicy probably bitten more than he can chew. He's stuck between 2 smokes, but he knows his teammates is ready for him. Juicy is so very low because of the aftershock.
Not only that, to take a look at D-Round's position as well, this is where they could just set up this meat grinder of a situation where Todak will need to actually force every single card that they have. We see the Fade initiating, now hoping to get more of that intelligence. Orbital Strike has already been landed, and Crazy Guy ball bags it throughout, and Lucy just pops off absolutely out of his mind. Lead Esports finally getting for an instance where you thought that with the numbers advantage, Todak will be able to eventually seek him out. Brought him down to less than a quarter, and Crazy Guy, clutches after clutches, he's almost invincible at this point.
I think what's really important to talk about is the fact that Todak sort of tunnel visioned onto Scary. They didn't have the idea where the other member of Bleed Esports was. It was still a two-man still up there, and they need to be very aware of that. In that situation, they were just putting so much of their utilities and energy to chase out, but there's aggression coming in from them. I don't know if they know that Frosty is there. Scary will stop him from playing that corner. Aduka does find one first.
A very aggressive push coming in from Frosties, and they were hoping that Bleed Esports does not suspect this one coming. At least now they deny whatever smokes that can come out of Bleed Esports. Well, they still have Scary to rely on, so that's a good notion. So Todak, what they really have to do is to have an efficiency being set into this place, especially now coming through drop. They've already got their way onto the side, so this plan's still going to be going down. Todak will have to take this as slow as they can.
Spike planted.
So they're playing this very slow. Wants to clear off the corners first. They are smoked out here. Scary providing them that value. And then this is the value of having a double smoker here. Because if one goes down, they still have another one in return. But this lockdown, it's not going to do them any favors. It's going to actually zone them off the site. They can go for those retakes if they want to. They do hit the haunt as well. But Todak has different ideas. They want to go aggressive. They want to push out, get flashed out, but is zoned out of the area because of the molly, because of the paint shells as well. And they have to figure out how exactly to push out onto main here. The defuse comes through. Jarion finds Aduka. JH finds Kale. In return, all they have to do is just trade on trade on trade. Jeed, last person standing. Not enough to do any more.
Yeah, they've been able to basically adapt to it over on this defense, giving in the amount of space available, and even with this double smoke setup, they've been able to wither them down slowly and steadily, and Frosty's having that discipline to also wait for some backup to arrive in order to get those exchange in return. And eventually, it was only down to Dirion to hold it out for the pulse pan. Reed turning back to defense though.
Interesting situation coming through here from both teams. Each round is so very close. It's never really a full domination coming through as JH opening with 2 onto the side. Darion gets one for himself as well. Aduka trades out. Jay with already 3 in the pocket. And now it's only G left.
Oh boy. This aggression was pretty much linear coming in from Todak. There's not much that he could do right now. 2 men cutting across the arcade section where he's finally getting his way onto the ropes. Could be able to get the plant down, but doesn't really matter. All he has to do is out-trade all these 3 members. Only having 1-2 smokes available.
Rolling Thunder out of the way, leaving nothing to chance as G, only 78 HP left. All those utils thrown out at him and he can't do anything. JH huge with 4 in his pocket.
Switching sides.
Such a vital role being played out by JH right there. He could be the guy to actually secure this successive win streak for Bleed Esports. Just 1 more to go. Todak, last time they were on this defense, was on that A side that they've been able to stop Bleed on the tracks. Perhaps Bleed might switch things around this time. Todak calling in for a timeout this late. Needing to prep out, see if they could still force another OT. Potentially 30 rounds of play and more. Let's see. With everything left on the table, I think like Scary so far has been able to find a lot of all these great angles against Todak many a times.
I think it's not about those angles at this point. At this point, it's more about Todak trying to just seeing the bigger picture, allowing Bleed that space and retaking it again. They got those frags early as well, but it's the same thing happening to Bleed. It feels as though for these two teams, it feels like they have the same playbook, allowing those retakes, playing together. But in terms of Todak, a lot more explosive compared to Bleed, who is more, I would say, like a well-oiled machine playing together.
Yeah, on top of that, they've been able to stabilize and eventually find ways to also counter some of these exchanges that Todak had on this couple of halves. A little bit more of a deeper access onto A. Ample of options left for the side of Bleed. Whereas only got the Neon as well as Fate to hold out long over onto A.
Honestly, this is a situation that I'm honestly shocked about. The fact that for Bleed, a team that's had international, I would say, experience coming through here, getting a run for their money, but that first pick onto Kale, huge. Does not allow the prowler to happen, doesn't give that info. You need that initiator to come through. Enough noise at A, but look at the non-movement from Todak. What they're trying to do here is just make sure that they can really figure out which site will be the site that Bleed decides to actually commit onto. We've seen it happen so many times. Frosty's always the first one playing in the very front, gets a pick, maybe gets straight back. They hear door open, and immediately the smokes come out and look at the rotations come through. It's going to be fast, but it looks like for the other members of Todak, not fast enough, as Sube gets 2 out of that, but Juicy and Crazy Guy get 1 each.
Only 2 more members remaining. Todak really has to clutch this one out. Plan goes down. Diron very deep into these angles where it does allow Juicy to be able to hold it out from main. Meanwhile, Todak plans to strike from main as well if they do send members into the doorways. But they're hoping to trade out against Diron from up top. Sending Molotovs to deny him some area of play. But he's still not going to be moving as he's being set over on the underside. And Jeet has to get this one going for the team.
Oh, unfortunately gets paranoia. Darion and Scary gonna just close this out. 15-13. Closest match of the day, and surprising outcome at how close this map is. 2-0, but honestly, a shocking, I would say, character arc for Todak, just showing us how far they've come.
That's true, and despite all these challenges and with them struggling in the very first map of Pearl, they came into situations where, you know, you just didn't get a chance to even respond in kind, where Frosty's, for most part, he's been planning himself over onto that A side many times where you would expect him to come in to try to shock members from entering, and all they have to do is just wait it out. And you see Todak bring the closest possible game against Bleep on their own map. I think like it definitely has shown so much growth for this team, but Bleep still has the better edge, especially heading into this overtime. Like, it really is just down to who does it better on those final few rounds in terms of stamina run.
I think on top of stamina run as well, Bleed is one of those teams that we have seen last year as well, playing out so many rounds again and again on overtimes. That's number 1. And number 2, the comp that they chose with the double controller gives them so much, I would say, control. Even if they were to lose Crazy Guy, they would still have Scary in the end of the day. I mean, yes, it's not ideal sometimes because it does become a double-edged sword, because so many times we saw Todak actually play in